All right, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back. Hey, Tom, I don't know if you got my messages. If you don't, if you say yes, I won't say that in public. But if you don't, I will say it in public. Make sure you understand that Paul is not talking in rumors. Just so you know. Tom, do you hear me? Tom, do you hear me? Just want to make sure that you know that stuff is true. Fortunately, I know a lot of. Okay, you hear me? Okay, good. I don't want to. We won't publicly discuss that. But unfortunately, I know people that are close to the situation. That's why they have fled the country. No, I don't have all the information with me, but they're yeah, very, 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 very sad situation. Anyway, all right, guys. Hey, listen, it's time to get busy. All right, let's talk about the euro. Let's talk about everything. So I am long the euro Canadian, euro pound, euro New Zealand, and I'm sitting in those. I'm going to sit in those through the data today. I don't have any dollar exposure right now. I last night I actually scalped the dollar yen. It was in early Asia. It was like the craziest thing. I don't know what the hell happened here. I was sitting here doing some analysis for Forex Analytics, like way late in Asian trade, and this happened. That happened. This move. Like I'm sitting there and I'm like, what the hell just happened to the dollar yen? And and right here, and I bought it at 103. Let's see. All right. I bought it at 103. Where is it? Last night. Oh, right here. I bought it at 103.98, and I got out at 104.42. Right there. You guys can see that right here. And that was so fast. I literally was in that trade. I mean, I was literally in that trade for 1 minute. I was in that trade from 3:35 to 3:36, less than a minute actually. That's 34 seconds, 35, 1 minute and 1 second. Crazy. It was like the craziest thing. It was the craziest thing. Yeah, it was Patrick H. So that was 3:30. Yeah, I just bought it right here, and then I sold it right here, and I'm like, what the fudge? I said fudge. I said, what the hell happened? And I bought it here and sold it here and or there and or no, I bought it here, sold it here. That's a 5 minute chart. I mean, it literally was within 1 minute. It's crazy. And then I just, I was like, all right, that's it. I'm gonna be done with the yen. I wasn't messing around with the yen for the rest of the night. But that was nuts. And I tweeted about it. I'm like, I don't even know how I made 40 pips like that. But man, that was quick. Yeah, people are attributing that move to like a fat finger. Like. Yeah, and I could see that happening. If you're a bank and you're trying to sell like a yard worth of currency, and you type in the wrong number, it can happen. But anyway, so that was kind of crazy. And then I sat around and waited for the BOJ. I listened to the DNC as I listened to the RNC the previous week. I was listening to DNC and. I was getting so tired, and finally we got this, massive volatility, and nothing. I guess when you take a step back, you take a step back right here, and you go, okay, well, why right now the dollar yen is weaker, and we are probing and have probed the 618 retracement. Now, I don't know if it's a good idea to be long the dollar yen right now. But we are on a 618 retracement. I mean, that's the fact of the matter is that's where we're at. Okay, I mean, there's the 618 retracement. We're at 10. We've made it to 102.75 ish, and I'll tell you that low is going to be sticky, and I'm going to write that number down because. And I know I'm starting with the dollar yen right now, but it's because the dollar yen was really the mover last night. The low comes in at 102.70. This is support, 102.70. That's support, and that's major support. Okay, that's major support. All right. You know, resistance is now 104. This is here. Let me get rid of all this stuff. I want to. I'm gonna be very, very basic, but very, very specific. Okay. If you're out there buying the dollar yen right now, if you're buying the dollar yen, I think it is risky unless we break back above 104. You see that? And this is. I don't think there's any other way to really look at the dollar yen right now. Do you guys see? Is everybody clear on what I'm seeing? I may, I don't think I am, so that's why I'm asking you guys. Can you see what I'm sharing with you on the dollar yen? Does this make sense? Right here, I got one yes. Okay, so that means not everybody understands what I'm saying. All right, 104 is right here. 102.70 is right here. That's a 618. That's previous support. That's previous support. We are stuck. And until we break above 104 or until we break below 102.75 or whatever the 102.70 is, I would not touch the dollar yen. Because you don't know. I mean, if you're out there trying to pick a bottom, you don't know if we crack through these lows right here, if we crack through that 102.70, we're probably going back down to 100. Yeah, and then obviously if we break back above this 104 area, then that's going to clear the recovery road for the dollar yen. But I don't think I'd touch it right now. I mean, that's about as. I mean, the great news is we know what our boundaries are. I mean, hey, I like it. I like it in the market when things are crystal clear. When they get foggy, that's when Actually, I have to put this back at bearish. Sorry, it's back to bearish. It'll switch to red once I get through here. But when things are crystal clear, it's good. I mean, I know below here we get bearish. Below there we get bullish. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to keep it at range. Let's just keep it at range. Okay. All right. And until then, let's just leave it alone. I mean, there's so much volatility surrounding that thing. Now, the euro dollar, what's really interesting about the euro, so here we are. Yesterday, I don't know if you guys did this, I actually shorted the euro dollar. All right, I drew it out. I said, hey, if we get it back above 111, we can short it. And we got back above 111. I shorted at 111 yesterday. 111.02, actually. I got out of it at 86. Wait, hold on. I'll tell you exactly. I have to go back and look. Euro dollar. Oh yeah, right here. Here. I sold the euro at 111.01.03. So I thought it was 102, 111.02. I closed it at 110.86. You guys see that? Okay. So and I just all I did is I just sold it up here because I knew we were approaching this resistance. I sold up here, closed it, and then that's it. I'm gonna stay away from it. And I'm very tempted to short the euro. I mean, right now the risk reward is to short the euro right now. Right here. right now. Matter of fact, I probably should do that ahead of the. How long do we got till the GDP numbers? Ah, damn it. All right. You know what? Actually, it's probably not a bad hedge. I just sold some at 111.11. Oh wait, 11, 111.11.8. Okay. Um, so anyway, damn it. Okay. Anyway, I just sold some here because it would be a nice hedge actually for my euro longs because I'm actually long the euro Canadian euro um, uh, Canadian and euro pound. So actually having a little bit of a short euro dollar here is not a bad thing for me. Uh, I think I can put my stop pretty cleanly above 111.30, right? Because the resistance here is going to be 111.25. So let's write that down. 111.25. Okay. Support. Support will be at. Well, let's figure that out. Support 110.58, I guess. I don't know. Let me see here really quick. Okay, so if I go from lows to highs, ah, look at that. That's a 38% retracement. Aha. That's a 618. Okay, so 111.60 or 110.60, excuse me. It's your first level of defense for if you're bullish. 110.60. That's gonna be support. Okay. Bias is. I'm gonna. It's still bearish. I know you guys are like, what? Still bearish. But we're in range. Again, I'll have to reiterate. I'll have to just continue on with my analysis here. All right, as long as we were below 112, at 112 actually 20, as long as we're below 112, I still believe it's bearish. We're just we're in a range, and we're at the upper end of our range in an overall what I think is a bearish trend that has developed. Okay, so I don't mind being short up here. The only problem is that you got GDP numbers that are coming out here very shortly, so in a half an hour. Which, like I said, I don't mind having a little bit of a hedge. All right, let's do the cable really quick. I know I'm running behind because we got busy talking about a bunch of stuff. So here's the pound. I've traded the pound a couple of times over the last 24 hours, and I have been playing it on the short side. So I shorted it yesterday at 70, whatever it was, 78. I closed it at 22. I played it again like throughout the course of the day. Just kind of fiddle-faddling around. I don't know what to do with the cable at the moment, but I'll tell you, it is underperforming the euro. Plain and simple. It is underperforming the euro. Now, let me get rid of this. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. It's been holding, for the most part, this breakout point. So that means we can come all the way down to 131 and not really think much about it. Okay, this is possible. Okay. Okay. Resistance. 130. I'll write down 132.50 for now. We could actually write the overnight highs, which would be 132.15. Actually, I'll do that for now. That's just near-term resistance, and it's not really great. 132.15. Okay. As long as we are below 135, we stay bearish. That means you just want to sell rallies, as far as I'm concerned. Okay. All right. When I come back, we're going to do the Swissy. Actually, you know what? Let me squeeze out the Swissy really quick. Here's a Swissy. So the Swissy, we came down here, and I almost bought it yesterday. I did not, by the way. I did not buy it. I almost bought it yesterday when we came down here, and we stopped because I thought we were going to come down here. And then somebody asked me last night, yesterday afternoon in the lunch money webinar, somebody asked me, hey Blake, will you get long the Swissy before the BOJ? I said no, I won't. And the reason why I said it, I said this last night, I said if the dollar yen falls, this is yesterday afternoon during the lunch money webinar, if you guys were listening in, you probably remember this conversation. I said if the BOJ disappoints and the yen strengthens, I think that there's a chance that the Swiss will strengthen alongside it, and it did. Now, the dollar Swiss has come down, and I'm very, very, very tempted right now to go long the dollar Swiss because we are at a 50% retracement, 786 retracement. We're not quite to any extension. We're beyond any extension of this last move, but we are at a fib confluence here, and we're RSI is divergent. Okay, so I think there's a lot of support here, right where we're at. I don't think this is a bad area to be long, but we also have to think about the idea that it could drop down to 97.15. Okay, like I said, if there wasn't U.S. data coming out right now, like I would probably buy the dollar Swiss, but I just, I'm not going to. All right, resistance now. Resistance is going to be really tough on the way back up to 98 cents. Whoops. Okay. Really, it's going to be really tough on the way back to 98 cents on the way back up. But this has been a really steep decline in an overall what I think is a range. All right, I'm going to go get some more coffee. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in just a couple of minutes, and we'll do the rest of them really fast before all the data comes out. Don't go anywhere. Be right back. All right, guys and gals, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back. Let's go ahead and we're going to continue on with this analysis. Let's get through this. Here's the U.S. dollar Canadian, and this Canadian, I have to agree with Paul. We are not rallying the way you would think with a weak crude price. I mean, crude oil is selling off, and we're just not seeing any type of rally in the Canadian. Now we did, we've been holding sell-offs, which I guess is good, considering the dollar really hasn't rallied, but it's broken away from its correlation with crude, and that to me is it's a little concerning. Okay, it is a little concerning. Now, obviously, with the Canadian data that's coming out today, we have not only GDP, we have some inflation data too. We have RMPI and IPPI. So, but both of that information could really move the market. Okay, and right now, you just got to be careful because it is not, and it would be silly not to recognize that it is not moving with crude at the moment. Okay. Now, the great news is I think that we probably have a nice tight range, which really gives us our breakout points. Okay, so you could say, all right, if we break 131.30, we can break the lows. 131.90, we break the highs. Okay, and if we break above 131.90 or below 131.30, it's going to be a mover. 131.30 and 131.90. And now Here's the thing, and this is something that I keep hearing from people too. And we are bullish while we're above that one. I think we're bullish while we're above 131. If we get back below 131, it will not um, be. It won't. It just. It's not going to be good if we drop below 131. Period. End of story. All right. Um, um, if I keep hearing from people, and I hear you. I hear what you're saying. Crude oil continues to sell off, but how about if crude bounces? What's to say? What's to say that crude is going to bounce? You know what I mean? Yeah, okay, let me rephrase that. Why does crude have to bounce? I mean, I look at crude and I'm like, oh my God, this sell-off has got to stop, right? I mean, that's what I keep thinking. I mean, obviously we're coming into some pretty key support here. We got the 618. We're getting really oversold on the like the 4 hour charts, getting really oversold. But do we have to stop? I know there's a lot of support down here, but I would have said there was a lot of support at 42 or 44. I would have said there was a lot of support at 42. It just here's the thing: crude doesn't have to it doesn't have to bounce. It may bounce, and I think it's going to bounce, but it doesn't have to. And that's why if it doesn't, and we just we slice through $40, and then if Canadian GDP comes in weaker than expected, I mean the dollar Canadian can still go. I don't want you to think that the dollar Canadian is done, because it may not be. Is I guess the point I'm trying to make here. All right, so let's go over to the Kiwi. All right, here's the Kevin says it can do anything it wants to. You're right. I mean, we have indicators that tell us, that things are getting overbought or oversold. But man, I know one. If there's one thing that I know for sure in the market, for sure, this is for sure. Things can become more overboughter, and they can become more oversolder. Or all right, um, Patrick H. Yes, I did about an hour and a half ago. 2 hours ago? Hour and a half ago. Yeah. So just so you know, I'll answer his question a little bit later. All right. So here is the Kiwi. Okay. Actually, I'll tell you guys right now. So I got a question from Patrick. He said, Blake, did you pick up the Aussie New Zealand? Um, okay. If you guys have been listening in here for the last 3 days or last week and a half, where did I tell you guys I was going to buy the Aussie New Zealand? I'm getting sidetracked. Yes, I'm getting sidetracked. Where did I say I was going to buy the Aussie New Zealand? Anybody can answer. Over the last week and a half, I said I'm going to buy the Aussie New Zealand when it gets where? Okay, so the Q. Well, you guys are answering that. Let me do the QE really quick. Support at 107.75. Resistance at 71.40. Let's see, resistance 0.7140. Support at 70.75. 70.75. Okay, good. Everybody answered that question correctly, but Toby. DK was even more specific. Very good, DK. This David. Let's see. We are in a range here. So everybody, I think I've been pretty clear. I told you over the last week and a half, I'm going to buy the Aussie New Zealand when it gets to 105.50. We got to 105.55. I bought the Aussie New Zealand at a cost average of 105.58. I started buying it about an hour and a half ago. So I have now started to pick up a position. So anyway, just little so you guys know I'm already starting to accumulate. I'm going to accumulate more. This is my first clip, but as you guys know, I'm buying the Aussie New Zealand. I'm excited about buying it. Now I don't own it too far from here. Aussie. Let's talk about the Aussie. I got to get really through this analysis quickly. Okay, so the Aussie. I was short the Aussie yesterday. I shorted it somewhere around here, like 75.30 something. I closed it at like 75.05, somewhere over here. No, not there. I think I sold it here, bought it here, and then I just kind of been staying away from it. But look, Aussie's pretty clear too. Here, let's move out. Here's your 4 hour. Here's the 4 hour. $75, 75.60, 74.50, 75.60, 74.50. Same numbers we had as the last 3 days. 75.55 and 74.45. Is that what it is? 74.45. You guys have done all the. You got 74.45. Yeah, 74.45. You guys have all the numbers written down. Same stuff. I think you got to sell rallies here. All right. Dollar index. Here's the dollar index. Now, this is important support for right now. Here's the dollar index. I think it's important support. Look, this is the same line as this line. I just cloned it yesterday or duplicated it yesterday. So if you actually go to the wick here, we're on support. I just wasn't sure where that trend line was drawn at, but it's actually drawn from, it must be drawn from here. We are on support. So I'm going to write down 76.10 and look at 76.15 as a 618. This is support for the dollar. If you want to buy the dollar, this is the time to do it, because if the dollar breaks this 96.10, that would be bearish. 96.10, right? Yeah. If it breaks 96.10, that'll be bearish. Resistance, let me get rid of this. That was a hammer yesterday, and it resulted in a little rally in the dollar index, just so you know. Resistance is 76.75. $76.75. Let me make that a little bit wider. Okay, $76.75. Or $96.75. $96.75. I don't know where $76.75 is coming from. I'm going to put it at range. Although I think it still should be bullish, but I mean, we got knocked down pretty hard this week because of the dollar yen. Okay. So, anyway. All right, still cruising. Dollar Mexican peso. So we talked about this yesterday, and dude, I'm going to tell you guys right now, this dollar Mexican peso is threatening to get downright nasty on people. It is. And I say that because if this market goes risk off, remember we are at the end of the month. Right? We are at the end of the month. There's can be some shenanigans today in the markets. Crude's dumping again. We could rip higher here. You get some risk aversion. Sprinkle on a little weak crude oil. I mean, I don't know where this peso can go, but it can go, you know. High, low. We're at a 618 right now. So I'm going to write down 1890. Let me make sure that's on specifically, right? Do that. That's going to be huge if we break that. 1890. I just duded you guys, dude. That's going to be huge if we break that. Because look, if that clears, you clear the 618. That's a head and shoulder that everybody was talking about. Quote unquote, everybody was talking about a big head and shoulder pattern. Look, you clear that, you're going to clear out every stop. This move from here to here, pretty clean, right? 19 to 1920, that's pretty clean. Support. $18.75. Okay. Okay. US dollar, Norwegian krona. This kind of reminds me of the Swissy that failed. The Swissy that failed. 860, 8 fee 5 fo fum. Why did we write that down? Oh, it's a 50% retracement. Okay, 850, 860, 847.50, 847.50, 860. It's a range. US dollar, Swedish krona. This is the same thing as yesterday. 854. This and okay, I got to stop here for a second. Look, I don't know what's going to happen to the dollar, nor does anybody. We don't. We just don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But I had to stretch. We don't know what's going to happen to the dollar. But if the dollar breaks higher, this US dollar Swedish krona, and I have to go back to this chart. That is a massive flag. That's a massive, massive flag. This is just let's think about this for a second. Just think about it for just a minute. George says, "What? You don't know where the dollar is going? Refund, please." That is end of 2014 to mid 2016. That's a year and a half. Year and a half. Year and a half. Year and a half. 1.5 years. Actually, probably like 1.7 years. That is 1.5 years of a very shallow retracement. Shallow. Shallow. Like super shallow. Like, holy cow. Like, is that even a 38% retracement shallow? Like, that is, where is my template? What? Dude, where's my template? What? Ah, dang it. I lost my template. but it's a 38% retracement. Ah, son of a gun. That pisses me off. Ugh. No. I'll have to fix that later. Son of a gun. All right, anyway. That right there is a 38% retracement. If we break out, oh, this is going to be massive, man. Massive. That's all I have to say. I'm done with that. Okay, so let's just make sure we mark up the numbers. Um, I mean, it's so tempting just to say, "Oh, screw it," and just close your eyes and get along, but you can't do that. I mean, my 2 cents is you get above 874, you buy a little, and then if it gets above whatever the high here is, it gets above 888, then you start adding and you get aggressive, But man, it's just like inching its way up. It's just aching to just kill everybody, just crush anybody who's short. 854.40. Crazy thing is, I'll just write it down 854, and this is 874. The thing is like even if it does that, if it goes up, it's not uncharted territory. I always get scared when I look at big moves like this, and I go, yeah, but that would be all-time highs. Like we've never been up there. We've been up there. We've been there before. It's not like, hey, it never happened. We've been there. All right, guys. Hey, I'll see you back here for GDP numbers. It's going to get busy. Booyah. I'll be back in a few. Happy summer. Friday. TGIF.